Hi everybody. Leopards are known to be the quietest and most dangerous predators in the cat family. They are found throughout Africa, India, the Middle East and Southeast Asia, and are well adapted to both dense forests and dry grasslands. However, as humans encroach on forests for farming, their living space is shrinking and the natural food sources are becoming increasingly scarce. As a result, they have sought out human habitations and livestock in search of food, inadvertently causing dangerous encounters with livestock, and even attacking humans. Many localities have recorded an increasingly dense presence of leopards right next to residential areas, leading to controlled hunting campaigns being deployed to minimize damage. My first operation was in the semi-arid Kutch region of western India, where people raise sheep and goats. The previous month, 18 sheep had been slaughtered. The rancher claimed that the culprit was an old, nocturnal male leopard. We set up surveillance cameras in the pen. 2 nights later, a familiar figure emerged, a muscular body, a curled tail, and eyes fixed on the camera. The next morning, my guide and I followed its tracks to ambush it. On a dry, thorny slope, we found it resting under an acacia tree. A single shot from a .308 Winchester rang out. The force of the rifle killed the leopard instantly. Next, I headed south to Iran, where the Kavar leopards were beginning to cause trouble in the desert villages. The terrain was rugged, with deep gorges, but also ideal for hiding. A sheep farm was repeatedly attacked, prompting local authorities to intervene. I accompanied an environmental task force to the suspected leopard den. Near the Tapas Gorge, we found fresh droppings and fresh scratch marks on the rocks. An ambush was planned for the night. Under the pale moonlight, the leopard emerged, cautiously and silently approaching the carcass of a dead goat, a ready bait. As it lowered its head, the sniper rifle fitted with a silencer clicked softly like a breath. Without a sound, it fell to the cold sand. When I arrived in Zambia, the edge of Luangwa National Park was experiencing an unusual increase in leopards entering human settlements. Since the forest road was widened for logging trucks, leopards have lost their territory and have invaded agricultural farms. A 10-year-old boy was attacked while fetching water near a stream, a shocking event that prompted the government to allow controlled hunting. Following mudslides, we headed deeper into the early morning jungle. After a while, a strange sound echoed, a gasp. The leopard suddenly lunged from a high tree, but I had time to pull the trigger. The bullet hit its hind leg, and it turned and ran, blood covering the dust of leaves. It took us nearly an hour to find its body, lying under the roots of the forest, its former territory. Back in Asia, I followed a special team of rangers into the hills of Sri Lanka, where leopards are creeping into tea plantations. One male has been recorded killing more than 30 chickens, cats and sheep in just 1 week. Using a reconnaissance drone, we spotted a leopard watching from a tree. We crept up on it. About 50 m away from the prey, I held my breath and pulled the trigger. The bullet hit its chest, and it fell to the base of the tree, its body curled up like a tattered floral shirt. Do you think hunting with a rifle is the best way to stop this fast and dangerous animal from encroaching? Leave your thoughts in the comments section, we look forward to hearing from you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to follow the next interesting content. In northern Mozambique, leopards began to rampage as war destroyed the old-growth forest ecosystem. With no wild prey left, they turned to the livestock that survived in the resettlement farms. Under the scorching sun, a local gunman and I waited in ambush near a stream where leopards often came to drink. A female with her cubs appeared, her body thin, her eyes full of alertness. Although hunting female leopards was usually limited, when she continued to cause harm, there was no choice. The first shot wounded her, but she struggled to get up and run through the bushes. Following the trail of blood, I found her curled up, her eyes dull. No joy, no regret, just the silence of the fight for survival. Indian state of Rajasthan, I was part of a controlled leopard hunt coordinated by a conservation organization. The goal was to eliminate leopards that had attacked humans. A leopard in the area had broken into a village 3 times in just 1 month, causing a panic. People were no longer allowed to go to the fields, and children were forbidden to leave their homes in the evenings. After days of stalking and tracking, we finally determined the animal's movements and habits. Night fell, and darkness spread across the open field. Suddenly, the leopard appeared, moving slowly, its eyes gleaming with caution and calculation.
Ja, met the cat was stone dead when he hit the ground.
Approaching the carcass we had set up, it touched it with its claws as if to check for safety, then abruptly turned to retreat. But it was too late, a shot rang out, the bullet hitting the neck. The leopard roared fiercely, struggled in the bushes, then collapsed, leaving behind an eerie silence.
Very good. That's the...
Leopard hunting is not only a highly technical journey, but also a battle of wits between man and a master predator. In every land I have visited, from Africa to Asia, leopards have left their mark, either blood on cliffs or silent fear in the eyes of people. Their encroachment is a clear sign of ecological imbalance. When nature has no place to hide, predators come to the light. And in this relentless confrontation, the hunter becomes the final line between safety and chaos. The morning frost still clung to the brush as the hunter crouched behind a fallen pine, rifle aimed, breathing shallowly. Across the narrow clearing, a shadow moved with an eerie silence, slick, dappled, and deadly. The bobcat had been stalking the edge of the woods for days, preying on farm chickens and wild turkeys, leaving only tufts of fur and claw marks in its wake. Now it stood only 20 yards away, ears twitching, yellow eyes scanning for danger. A single shot would be all it took, but the timing had to be perfect. In that breathless silence, man and predator faced off in a brutal confrontation forged by instinct, necessity, and the untamed wilderness of America's northern frontier.
full.
According to statistics from the California government, a chicken farmer reported that in May 2025 alone, he witnessed 10 cases of lynx attacks on chickens and 40 of his chickens went missing. The first trip started at dawn, when the fog was still thick on the path. The hunter carried a Remington 700 rifle, equipped with a long-range scope and a silencer. After scanning the area, he discovered new footprints of an adult lynx. The footprints were evenly spaced, cautious but deeply imprinted in the soft ground, indicating that the animal was foraging. A few minutes later, in the pale light of dawn, the silhouette of the lynx appeared, just stepping out of the bushes, sniffing the air. Suddenly, a gunshot rang out. Before the lynx could understand what was happening, it collapsed on the spot. The next hunt took place in a tall grassy field on the edge of a farm. This time, the hunter used a lightweight Browning X-bolt rifle. After observing the trail the bobcats used to approach the chicken coop, the hunter took cover in a tall wooden lookout. The wind was blowing in the opposite direction, perfect for masking the scent of the man. A small noise came from the thick brush. As it stepped into the clearing about 80 meters from the lookout, a single bullet was fired, hitting it square in the chest. The bobcat rolled over, its body twitching for a moment before it went still. Once again, the low-light sniper skills proved effective. That evening, under the light of a crescent moon, another group of hunters set up an ambush on the edge of the reserve. This was an area where bobcats had been reported sneaking into residential areas to prey on livestock. This time, they used Savage Arms 110 rifles with night vision scopes. Around 11 p.m., a 45-pound bobcat appeared, quietly slipping under the barbed wire. As it climbed the embankment to peer into the duck pen, a precise shot brought it down in silence. The hunt ended a string of livestock thefts in the area that had been ongoing for weeks. The next morning, the operation switched to the foot trap method. These foot traps are small, rubber-padded traps designed to hold the foot without endangering life. The trap was set in a harvested cornfield surrounded by tall grass and dense bushes for easy hiding. Lynx are highly intelligent animals with a keen sense of smell, so any mistake in setting up the trap could result in the loss of prey. To avoid detection, the hunter carefully dug a shallow hole and anchored the trap with a metal stake driven deep into the ground to prevent it from being dragged away. On top of the trap, the hunter placed a decoy made of feathers combined with wild animal scent oil. Finally, an automatic sound generator was placed nearby to lure the lynx into the area. The average lynx weighs between 10 and 20 kilograms. Although official reports of lynx attacks on livestock are rare, that doesn't mean they don't happen. In fact, sheep and young goats are particularly vulnerable. With just one powerful bite to the neck, a lynx can kill its prey instantly, even animals as large as deer. Snow fell steadily as we moved silently through the frost-covered pine forest, my rifle clutched to my chest. Each step crunched softly beneath my insulated boots. Tracks in the fresh snow revealed the zigzagging path of a lynx, small circular footprints with clear markings. Through the scope, its mottled fur blended almost perfectly with the winter backdrop. A sharp crack echoed in the still air. This vicious predator was down. That afternoon, on the eastern farm, another leg trap yielded impressive results. Hunters set the trap near the goat pen, where 3 bobcats had snuck in the week before. In the twilight, strange noises came from the pen. When they ran to it, they found a female bobcat trapped. Unlike the previous ones, it was aggressive and tried to bite off the surrounding branches to escape. They quickly restrained it, took pictures and examined its biological traces to serve the research on the movement habits of this species in the changed environment. Which hunting method do you find more interesting and effective? Leave your opinion in the comments section so everyone can know. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to watch the next interesting content.
Nuts. He likes it.
The leg traps were augmented with motion sensor cameras, allowing the team to monitor remotely and pinpoint exactly when the lynx was trapped. One night, just before midnight, the alarm went off. They immediately moved to the trap site 2 kilometers away.
This set here.
A large male lynx was trapped by its left leg near the mound. The animal was panting, its eyes bulging with fear and pain. The hunters anesthetized it, did a preliminary examination of its wounds, and completed the mission according to protocol. It was the 8th capture this week, an alarming number given the extent of the wild lynx invasion. grassy area at the edge of the forest, the hunter set up an electronic sounding device. He set up a gun mount and sat in the bushes, wearing camouflage clothing to avoid the attention of the lynx. About 10 miles away from this location was a village, where people had recently reported repeated incidents of lynx encroaching on residential areas, with livestock and poultry disappearing.
Yeah.
Finally, a lone lynx approached the place where the lynx was making its call. It seemed to not detect any danger. Suddenly, a shotgun shot rang out, and the lynx was immediately unconscious. After a week of deploying the rifle and foot trap method, more than 20 lynx individuals were successfully eliminated from the high-risk area. Of these, 11 were killed by rifles, the rest were captured alive by foot traps. The campaign to control lynx by rifles and foot traps not only protects farms and livestock, but also helps maintain the balance of the local ecosystem. The combination of the two methods has shown clear effectiveness, quickly eliminating dangerous individuals while allowing for more in-depth research on the movement and hunting habits of this species. However, experts still warn that only long-term solutions in terms of forest land planning and habitat control can completely prevent the increasingly complex intrusion of lynx into residential areas.
Get it.